Morning all. How are we all doing? Happy Friday. Finally, Friday. I look very yellow today. Must be the lights. Morning. How are we all doing? Morning, Christian, Ian, JC, Michael, Kennelly, Dion, Gregors, Yotko, Virginia, Amy, Ismet, Monkey, Andrew, Gal. How are we doing? Just quickly before I start, somebody just asked in the live room. This is the live room. Someone's just asked in Telegram, morning it's time, Mumo, about the H4 M15 strategy and if I'm not trading it anymore. It's basically, I'm not trading it anymore. I'm just position trading. Position trading isn't H4 M15 or H1 M5. It's the same thing. It's using a higher time frame extension to enter on a lower time frame on a reversal. Whether you choose, and this is all covered in the bootcamp, but whether you choose H1 or H4 is going to be dependent on you and your time you have to invest in trading. Yeah, so they're both the same strategy. One of them operates on a higher time frame than the other. You could use D1, H1, I would say. Yeah, same thing. It's position trading. You're using a higher time frame extension and a lower time frame entry. Yeah. So I'm not trading H4 M15 because it's not good. I'm trading it because I just prefer H1 M5. Just because market movement is a little bit tighter and that's it. So it's not. This is the market reversal alert CA running on the VPS. So this is the H4 M15 strategy. Done 5.35% this month so far. 2% of drawdown. So it's, you know, this is H4 M5 instead of M15. Doesn't really matter on the lower time frame either. This is H1 M5. Yeah. This result isn't actually the full EA, obviously, because I'm stupid enough to be trying to trade oil at the moment. But if I hadn't been trying to trade oil at the moment, this would be sitting around about 7%, 8% in profit. So the difference between H1 M5 so far this month and H4 M15 is 2 or 3%. It still works. It's just a different time frame, that's all. And the H1 hedging strategy is done 20%, and it's sitting in 13% of drawdown. This just absolutely killing it, H1. It just takes too much drawdown. It's too uncomfortable. Don't like it. Not for me. But some people I know are trading it, and they're absolutely killing it with it. But I can't sit in that much drawdown. Drive me nuts. Anyway, so if you're in here, whoever asked that, Dabas, there's your answer. Morning, Pip from the Forge, James, Mark, Day Trader FX, David, Virginia. Is there value in reinvesting in revisiting the bootcamp from time to time to refresh. There's always value in revisiting any course you do. You'll never get everything in the first run through. The second run through, you'll suddenly see things, and it's like a film, yeah? You watch a film and you go, that was a good film. And then you watch it again and you go, didn't realize that. And then you watch it again and go, that's why he did that there. Third time, you get everything. Yeah? First time you run through the bootcamp, it will be like, wow, this is amazing. Second time, you'll be like, now I get that bit. I understand it. And, I see now that's why he does that. You're not going to get it all in the first go. So yeah, run through it 2-3 times. Every course I've ever done that's been any value, I've done it multiple times. Run through it on 1.25% or 1.5%. So I'm talking like this. You'll obviously get it faster. In theory. Yeah, so there you go. Did you ever try H4M5? Yeah, that is H4M5 running. H4M5, H4M15, doesn't really matter. M5 just gets you in slightly faster than M15. It's all, this is the thing. We've got 3 minutes to the open, so I'll talk while I'm looking at the DAX. But this is the whole thing with it, yeah? If you get a 15-minute reversal alert, you're in short. If you get a 5-minute reversal alert, you're in faster than the M15 short. You're still in short, yeah? If you use the M15 reversal alert, yeah, you may not get entries that you get with M5. So you'll be going, I'm in with M5, and it will then reverse and you'll go, if I'd have used M15, I wouldn't have got in there. But then other times you'll be going, I'm glad I got in with M5 because M15's reverse alert was down there and it's made me twice as much. The difference is you're in there or there. You're still going to get in. M5 reversal alerts. The reason I have switched the EA from M15 to M5 on the 4-hour time frame is the distance. So when you're trading, position trading, you're looking for a distance between entries. In my case, it's 0.75 of an ADR. Sometimes what I find is the 15-minute reversal alert is there. The 5-minute reversal alert is there. This one gets you in at 0.75 ADR. This one doesn't because it's below 0.75 ADR. So a faster entry means that you're more likely to get a tighter spacing. You're going to get closer to that distance between trades. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just different. Banked 0.96% this morning. I posted those in Telegram. I've closed out 2 Aussies, Aussie Swiss and Aussie CAD. Closed out. They're done. Right, DAX. Quick. Market's about to open. So yesterday, bull day. We had a lovely pullback on this as well. So we broke the high. Sorry, that's not yesterday. That's the day before. So the day before, we broke the high, pulled back nicely into propulsion, broke out again. Now we're pulling back into yesterday's high. So this market structure, if this is a rally starting, second leg, and we're going to do a flag break run and not a pullback, we're going long today. So we're watching for long positions and target to the upside being yesterday's high initially. So there's no gap at the moment. We're sitting down exactly where we closed out yesterday. So if we're going to drop, we're looking for yesterday's low and the previous day's low, which again is that propulsion gap for a double bottom. If we're going to go long, we're looking to get out at yesterday's high initially. And then obviously if it's going to run, it's going to run. So if you look at it on a longer term time frame, your target overall is the monthly high at 200% ADR. So unlikely we're going to get to 200% ADR, but certainly we'll start the journey. So market's open. Pre-market range is too small. So this pre-market range, look at it, absolutely tiny today. Really, really tight range. So not trading that. I'm going to trade the 5-minute opening range break. So the pre-market range was 120 or 12 points. Minimum we're looking for is 10% of ADR, which is 17.5 points. So I'll be taking the 5-minute break rather than pre-market today. Sec. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Yesterday was a nightmare. Yesterday, market was just a pain in the backside. Yesterday, I was really lucky yesterday. I managed to get out of it with 2.84% yesterday, which was, I always say there's a lot of luck involved in trading, because at the end of the day, this is something completely random. You can't predict where it's going to go. And some of the times you'll press the button, you go, oh, that was lucky. Yesterday was one of those days. I managed to get 2.84% out of it yesterday. So it actually turned from being a horrible day, which looked like it was going to be a big loss, into an actual winner. So the NASDAQ is what did that for me. So got hedged on this yesterday. We had a whippy open out of this fairly tight Globex range, and it didn't go anywhere. So I was in the hedge. I decided to re-short it up here. And then, sorry, it wasn't there. Let me zoom in so we can see what the hell I'm talking about. So I decided to short it when I saw rejection at these highs, yeah, which was here. No, sorry. Rewind. Start again. I got hedged. It's like a really bad story. Normally I'd edit all this out if it was a video and go, perfect delivery, first time. That's not the real world. So got hedged. As we pulled down, I did this live on stream. I got out of the long and I was like, this looks like it's breaking short. We broke short and I was like, happy days, off we go. And then we rallied again. So what I did was I re-hedged it at that high, because I was expecting us to basically break out of that high. If we weren't going short, I was expecting us to go long. Then all of a sudden, what we did on the very next candle was we put in a whacking great wick. We double topped and we rejected. And I heard on Tick Strike, tons of selling coming in. So I decided to exit that long hedge in anticipation of it being a double top and then flush, an M pattern. Yeah. So that was what I was expecting. So I got into shorts again there. So I'm now short from there and short from there. So it's kind of an aggressive exit, normal stock index hedge aggressive exit. Then we rallied up again. I didn't get enough position sizing on there. That's why there's two positions, or there's three positions, because I cocked up the lot size, but basically it was the same as that. So I got out of that one down there. But anyway, I double shorted it. Then we decided to rally out of that high. And I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll take one more after this rally and assume that they're just running stops at the highs and we're going to drop. We did. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying about the lucky bit. Yeah. That was what an entry. Yeah. If I was going to go into a Telegram group now for marketing purposes or anything like that, what I would do is I would take all these trades off and show you my perfect short entry and exit. But that's not what happens. So that was it out there. That was just over 4.5% something. So it got me from a loss into a win. But I was reading price action and every signal yesterday was wrong. Every price action signal, everything I heard, everything I saw looked right. This is it. And it was wrong. Those days like that where you're just going to get killed. So the plan was on that short, if it didn't work out, was to re-hedge the entire position and just take a 4.5% loss yesterday. So that was the plan. There was like, screw you. This is not working. Get out. Luckily, that was the turning point. So there you go. So there's a lot of luck involved, but the risk was still being controlled because the hedge was going in above that high. So I was locking in basically two hedges, lock that hedge in and then locking that in. So the loss would have been double loss on that hedge. And I would have just walked away and gone, this market is terrible today. And it was awful, wasn't it? A bit lucky. Okay, so DAX taking the 5-minute opening range break. So nice big candle, 331 points, maximum is 35. So going to take a break of that today. So upside target, look at that for a perfect upside target. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? Yesterday's high, 2R, just happens to be exactly yesterday's high, as if by magic. So I'm just going to pull that down a little bit, just in case we come up and test it and fall short. And basically, because there's going to be limit orders somewhere around here, which are going to trigger. Don't know whether they're going to be on the line, below the line, or above the line, but there'll be limit orders sitting at yesterday's high. So if we hit an area before yesterday's high and the limit orders trigger and drive it south, I want to get out before, obviously, we don't get to the target, basically. So target 2R to the upside if we break up. Downside target, yesterday's low. There we go. So that's nice and easy, isn't it? Just moving that up slightly again. Same reasoning, just above yesterday's low. In case we come down and just get batted away. So should be, in theory, fairly easy breaks today if we get a break. But there's not a lot of volume, is there? So we'll see where we go. So basically, that's that one done. News today. We've had the GDP for the pound this morning, came out as positive. So we were forecasting a drop, basically down to stagnation on GDP, which is basically anything negative GDP is recession, and obviously anti-recession growth. That's what it's called. So growth for the pound, which is good. That's month on month only, though. So it's just 1 month. It's not the end of the world. GDP is still, the preliminary quarterly figure is still for stagnation. So it's not recession, but we're not growing. So it's not particularly great. So if we look at the pound pairs this morning off the back of that, not a lot of movement, a little bit of a whippy time off the news, as you can see. Big whipsaw there on the pound CAD. Bit of a push up, pull back, pound Swiss. So there's no reaction to it, basically. No news. The only other news we've got today, we've got Lagarde speaking at 12:30. She spoke yesterday. So unlikely she's going to say anything today that she didn't say yesterday. So yesterday, we had a bit of a bull run on the euro, but not massive again. So I doubt that anything's going to happen off of that today. So the main news today is 30 minutes after market open, which is University of Michigan. And this one does move the market sometimes. So I think this one really, there's nothing in the University of Michigan report that is particularly impacted from a leading indicator perspective. For banks, they're not going to look at that and go, oh, look at those people. They say we should do this, therefore we will do it. That's not what happens. It's basically Friday afternoon, 3 o'clock, half an hour after the market opens, banks and institutions getting their books flat. That's what that is. Everyone thinks it's moving because of the news. It's moving because the banks and institutions want to get to the pub. Yeah. We need to move the market so that we can get some of these targets hit, guys. Okay, wait till 3 o'clock. There'll be a load of liquidity in the market at 3 o'clock. Let's take it, basically. So we do quite often get a move off of UOM. Which way it goes is irrelevant. The numbers got nothing to do with the direction. Overnight news, not a lot really. We've got some news coming in from Suzuki. Doesn't look like that's impactive, but so there's the GDP and other bits and pieces for the pound. The RBA statement last night, again, that not going to move it much because obviously we had the statement come out with the interest rate. So CPI at 4.5 at the end of 2023, 3.5. So they're forecasting a much slower decrease on inflation than everybody else. Other than that, overnight-wise, not a lot. So that's it for news. Still no break. Right, so let's look at some FX stuff while we're waiting for something to happen. There's no ADRs so far today. So the Aussie statement, monetary policy statement, and the pound haven't moved the market enough to get any moves so far today. So there's no ADRs. There's quite a few weeklies, but we're on Friday. So basically any of these that are still up at the highs, potentially you can short those or long them, depending on whether they're at the lows or not, because we might start a pullback today on the University of Michigan numbers. So there are some weeklies there. We'll have a look at those in a second. RSIs, there's a couple to look at as well. So nothing much different to what we've seen yesterday and a couple of times this week, really. So we'll start off with the weeklies. We'll look at oil to start with. We'll just catch up on the chat. Run David, I run H1M5 trend pullback and only get into opposite of trend positions with H4 extensions. Been going well, yeah. There's no right or wrong with any positions. Like I keep saying, position trading is a methodology. It's a way of trading. How you get in, why you get in is irrelevant. The way position trading makes you money is you get into the market and then you wait. If it goes your way, you take it. If it doesn't go your way, you trade it as a position. The reasoning for that entry direction and that timing of that entry could be the flip of a coin when the wind changes direction or your dog barks. Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? But there are obviously strategies which are more accurate than others. So you want to pick one of those. But yeah, any strategy using extension, because obviously this is a mean reversion strategy, position trading. So anything that uses extension, if you want to tie that extension in with current trend, fine, isn't it? Morning, John. Morning, xrate.news. Coffee is brewing. Good. Had mine this morning. Wide awake. Whipping post. By the way, the bearish wave in oil is to do with a bearish curve convexity signal. The spreads of time, spreads moved into contango, a counterpiece in many algo systems, plus a bit of producer hedging and bearish November seasonality. Okay. And I suppose you think aliens are running the government. Don't know what it is. Don't care. I want it to go long. Can you get them to get it to go long? The bearish curve convexity signal. Could you ask that to trigger a long for me? Never heard of it. Might be good, might be bad. I don't know. I was wondering how the first 15-minute candle compares to the first 5-minute candle. No, not back tested it. You can try it. Use the ORB EA if you want to test the 15-minute range break. That is one of the original range breaks that I use in the strategy. In the stock index hedge strategy, or sorry, no, in the opening range breakout strategy. What the 15-minute is one of the. There you go. So there's 3 levels: 5, 10, and 15 are the original opening range breakout strategy. You could just use the 15. Want to? The problem with using that with the stock index hedge strategy is you will find that triggered long on the DAX. Literally. Let's get Lee in and then run away. Thanks. The problem you'll find with the 15-minute range, not today, but in most days, is that 15-minute range will be above 20% of the average daily range. Yeah. So if you're getting into a hedge scenario where the range is bigger than 20% of the average daily range, you're going to find it hard to get to 2R. The whole edge of this strategy is that you take a range that can break on a trend and get you to a target that makes you profit, higher profit than the hedge itself. If your range is that big and the daily range is there, yeah, by the time you take that break and hit the daily range, it's never going to get anywhere near your target, which will be down here somewhere. So the longer you wait at the open, let's say, for example, today we did that, and that. That's the 15-minute range, yeah? Taking a break of that, you're going to find it hard to get to 2R. It's going to have to pretty much get to ADR to get you a target. That's why the 15-minute is not what I use. I haven't tested it. It might be brilliant. You can test it. Can you test it? You can't test it with the stock index hedge EA. You can test it with the opening range breakout EA. There's a set file in Telegram for hedging using the opening range breakout, because the opening range breakout EA uses stops and you can't remove those stops. So, but what you can do is make those stops so massive and adjust your lot sizing to accommodate that it's pretty much the same as the hedging version of the EA. But you can adjust the timings for the breaks in the ORB EA. So that's what you would use to test that strategy. If you want to test it. Outro, only sell stop placed today again. It rallied to the upside. Mine is fine on both. Look. Sell, buy. Buy, sell. I don't know what this is. This is so intermittent, this issue where it doesn't place an order. And I bet if you go into your log or in your experts tab or your journal, I can't remember which one it puts it in. I think it's in the experts tab. It'll probably say invalid stop loss or take profit. And I don't know why, because there isn't, it doesn't, it's just, how can it, the thing that confuses me about that particular issue, if it is the same one, in the EA, basically what it does is at that time, it goes, right, I want to go with a long and a short order. And what I want you to do is I want you to place a pending order with a stop loss at that level and a take profit at that level. Can you please calculate my lot size? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Right. Now place the order. It cannot do that until it has that in place, the stop loss and the take profit, because to be able to calculate a lot size, it has to know the entry and the stop loss. So that logic cannot physically happen to calculate that. And then before the order's placed, it has to all happen in that order. So when it places that, it cannot have an invalid TP or stop loss. Yeah, because it's the opposite side of the range, the stop, and the TP is 2 times the range. This is the bit that is, I've seen it happen and I understand it happens, and I don't have a solution for it. I've Googled it, I've looked at it, I've talked to other developers in the MQL marketplace, and other developers have had this issue, invalid stop loss, take profit. And as I said yesterday, you can have this issue, invalid stop loss, take profit error message, when you're not even using a stop loss or a take profit. Because the other thing I thought of was, let's calculate a lot size 5 minutes before, or rather 1 minute before the range forms, make it rough, and then not use a stop loss and a take profit, but at least we've got the lot size. It still would give the issue. So there's some weird bug. But the difference, as I said, between this EA and all other EAs that I've ever built or developed is it operates at the highest volume point of the day. So I can only assume it's something to do with the fact that when it's doing what it's doing, there's like 10 or 100 times more volume coming through the market than there is at any other time of the day. It's something to do with this flood of volume that is causing some brokers or some platforms to have a problem, because these two on Robo Forex, right, haven't got the problem today, have they? But yesterday, one of them did, one of them didn't. Both the same broker, same data feed, but one did and one didn't. So it can't be anything but the volume of data coming through. And there's no solution to that. That's just the problem. So I don't really know how to even approach the issue, because it's so intermittent and there's no feedback from MT4 as to how to rectify the problem, is there? So all I can say is you've just got to manually, it's just one of those, when it does happen, which, it's happened to me once in 2 weeks, you've just got to manually handle that one. You've got to place the orders, which is no good if you're leaving it unattended. I understand that, but I don't have a solution for it at the moment. Needs more research. What is tick strike? Tick strike is basically an audible version of the market. So it's basically it's open outcry. Go and have a look on the website. It's used in futures trading. It basically replicates the pits in the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which don't exist anymore. But it gives you an audible indication of buy and sell orders being placed in stock indexes, or stocks, or FX pairs as well. They've got all sorts of instruments you can monitor. There you go. There's all the instruments you can monitor. However, I would be, I'd be very cautious using these. Yeah. Chicago Mercantile Exchange doesn't have these. They don't exist. So I'm not sure where they get the data for these from. Futures, this is all CME, ICE, and the other exchanges. Stocks, same thing. I don't know. I don't trade crypto, so I don't know if these have a centralized exchange or not, but there's loads of them. It's a confluence thing. It's not a signal indicator. It's just something to use as confluence. Seems to be happening with this FTMO. Never happens on other prop firms. Oops. And very rarely, yeah, I know. When you're programming anything, whenever if you work in a company or an IT support desk and someone comes to you with a problem, you need data. You can't fix a problem if there is no information. This is the problem. There's no information, is there? We get nothing. We get, sorry, you've used an invalid stop loss or take profit. Well, then how did you place the other one? Stupid MT4, tell me that. You can't talk to the thing, so it can't give you an answer. Because if there is an invalid stop loss and take profit, why was it not on that one? Why was it only on that one? It's just not logical, is it? You can't fix a logical problem without a logical information. It's just I don't know. Pain in the ass. Vince, we'll have a look at oil in a second. Just catching up on chat. How accurate is Stacey Burkle's high-low strategy? Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Never heard of it. Tries to place a buy stop of 1K volume. 1K volume? Okay, I'll have a look at that. Can't read that. I can't read that. Oh, you're using the ORBEA as well, not the stock index hedge. Expert magic keys. It's like you're giving me your bank statement. I can see exactly what you're doing. Accepted buy limit. Order buy stop 1K. Accepted sell stop 53. Buy stop 1K. It's almost as if it's trying to use a default lot size, isn't it? Why 1,000? Why 1,000 contracts? Why 1,000 lots? That might be helpful, actually. Thanks for that. That's a fall. I think that's a fallback. So on MT4, if you try and put a lot size in that is incorrect, it will auto default to 0.01 or whatever your broker has as your minimum step size. And again, this is all broker supplied. This isn't MT4. This is broker supplied. The only thing I can think is maybe that they are supplying 1,000 contracts or 1,000 lots as a default, which would be a lunatic thing to do because obviously that's massively big. You would go with one, wouldn't you? Obviously. I'll read up on that later. Am I paying for tick strike? If you want to, I'm not. No, because I'm just listening to the S&P when I'm trading indices in the afternoon. E8 does not allow auto trading. Yes, it does. Unless they change their rules. I've been using EAs with E8 all the time. They've never had a problem unless they've changed their rules. I haven't traded with E8 for a couple of months, so I don't know. I don't know. They may have changed it. Anyway, there we go. Caught up on chat. So DAX is going short, so I'm going to hedge short on the DAX. Target's still going to be the same, I think, today. Although it's tricky because we may be starting that pullback. But 5R is down here today, so not hedged yet, but it's not looking like it's going long, is it? There's no volume again today. It's terrible. The market's gone really, really, really quiet at the opens. Look, it's just not got any legs at the minute, is it? We're not getting any runs, which is making life very difficult. But anyway, let's see where we go. Right, oil. So oil is stuck at the moment because some indicator in some strategy said go short. So obviously the market did what it said. I don't know. This nice big pink line here is the next low coming up, which is ADR today. So I've got one entry here, which I'm going to try and get a run on up into propulsion. I'm going to stop out on it, though, if it doesn't work, because this is not rallying as we are expecting. And it's not just me underwater here. Goldman Sachs have forecast $100 a barrel by Christmas. Good luck. 6 weeks. We got to get above that high, 95, and beyond within 6 weeks. It's taken 2 months for that to happen. So the chances of us getting back to $100 a barrel by Christmas, Goldman Sachs will be sitting there not giving out bonuses. So something's not right with this oil at the minute. We should be rallying, especially with what's happening in the Middle East at the moment. So we have bottomed out. Potentially, we're going back into another range. We seem to be just doing ranges at the moment. We sit in a range for a while. We do a price discovery move. If it holds, we range it. Price discovery, range. But that is the pullback level if we're going to put a new leg short in. If we're going to pull back before we put the leg short in. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with this at the minute. But right now, yesterday's high and yesterday's low and previous day's low really are the line in the sand today. If we break that low, we're still bearish. If we break that high, that reversal could be the W pattern we need to get back up to that high. So certainly looking for longs on it. If you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, we're really extended. It's not often you get an extension on the 4-hour below the 80 that it does not work out. In fact, there's one. Other than that, you get any 80-20 extension on RSI is very, very, very reliable. But it's only reliable when the fundamentals allow it. If the fundamentals drive short and then they flip, we should be selling oil because, I don't know, they release a production cap or something from OPEC. It will obviously do what it needs to do, but there's nothing fundamental that really says we should be selling at the moment. It should be bullish. Supply demand this is a supply demand product. Demand is high and increasing. Supply is still constricted. Those two things together mean up. Don't know. So yeah, so that's oil. I'm long and looking for a pullback into support. But that won't get me out either. So that is going to be getting me out and doing some drawdown control. I'm still going to be in it long, and I'm still looking for a rally. So we'll see. New pending order auto trading is disabled by the server. Oh, well, you need to contact them then. J3GMO194. You're definitely a stormtrooper, aren't you? Yeah, contact them because on their website it said you can. So, I don't know. Many prop firms don't allow hedging. Do they? I don't know any that don't allow hedging. I'd be very surprised if they don't. I've never traded with one that doesn't. I mean, just And they don't allow martingale, but there's no prop firm that wouldn't allow hedging, is there? I don't know. If they don't, use another one. E8, try E8. I don't know. You have to go and read the rules, everybody. Use your brains. I don't know what to say. Go and have a look at the rules and see if they do or don't. I'm not aware of any that do not allow hedging. Can I use indicators or expert advisors? Policy against gambling. Group hedging, trading with opposite positions on a platform is strictly heavy. That's fine. Yes. Whether it be discretionary, right? So your trading style is completely up to you. We do not limit or restrict your trading strategy, whether it's discretionary trading, hedging, algorithmic trading, and/or expert advisors. There you go. There you have it. So Stormtrooper and funded in a week. E8. They allow EAs. They allow hedging. If they are not letting you trade because they say you're not allowed to use EAs, give them a ring and say, "Oi, it says on your site you can." And this guy Lee that streams all the time, he's been funded with you many times in the past. You've paid him loads of money, and he uses EAs on his accounts. You want proof? I don't know, but they do. And that's who I would use at the moment. DAX is having a bit of a funny 5 minutes. This thing's off its head. Look at it. Half an hour now. The initial cash balance is holding as an inside bar, pretty much. We ain't going anywhere, are we? Useless. What firms mean hedging is hedging multiple accounts? Yeah, so they don't allow that, Emperor. So yeah, that's what they call group hedging or arbitrage hedging. So you can't. This is something that people started doing very early in the prop thing, was they would open two accounts, and on one account you go long, the other account you go short. Yeah, assuming that the day is going to move enough for you to hit target, you fail one and you pass one. Next stage, you do the same thing, and you hope that you get two trades in a row in the right direction. And if you don't, the other one, which is now on stage one, passes and gets you to stage two. So it's just a way of pretty much guarantee you get funded within a couple of days or a week or whatever. They do not allow that. Other people then started going, I'll go long with E8 and I'll go short with my Forex funds. Whichever one I get over the line onto stage two, I'll replicate the thing. And if on my Forex funds I then fail that one, at least I know I'm onto stage two on E8. Don't like that either. There's all sorts of ways of farming. This is why the prop firms have such tight rules, yeah? They don't want you to win in any way, shape, or form. Of course they don't. Otherwise, they have to pay you. Everything they pay you comes out of their pocket. I fade Goldman and the big banks. They manipulate the market and do the opposite. Good one. Emperor George, yeah, seems I misunderstood the group hedging. Yeah, and they've all got different rules. You just got to check with them. I've had props that I've tried out in the past, and I've stuck an EA on there, and it's suddenly gone stop trading. And I'm like, why? Because we're using an EA. It says, well, it says you can use EAs. Yeah, but we need to see the EA. It doesn't say that. So I send the EA, and they go, no, we're not going to let you trade with that EA. It's like, well, give me my money back then. They're just a load of crap ones out there. You just got to stick with the big boys, like my Forex funds. Can you place a rocket ship under the DAX? I can. We'll do it over here. I don't need to now. We're just about to break out the highs. We shouldn't need one today. There we go. Oh, you can hear tick strike going. S&P's, they're buying the S&P. Jesus. Sorry. I just heard something outside. it's the rain is coming down as if somebody's literally just tipped a bucket of water out the sky. Probably can't hear it, but that's really raining out there. So yeah, we are looking like we're trying to break out of the range. So if we can get above that high, we're off. We've obviously got a long. This seems like a very long way to go, doesn't it? Today, to actually get up there based on this price action, you'll probably get there in the next few hours or so. Yeah. The strategy does not work though using different firms because they don't know. The strategy does work though using different firms because they do not know what you're doing in the other firms. Yeah. Yes. I mean that you can do that. So you could go long one, short the other. You've got to find two firms that have got the same rules in the same way though, basically. So it's just a case of matching two firms up. It's a little bit like the nightclubs. Yeah. You know, when nightclubs all have an interconnected radio system. So if there's an idiot getting banned from one nightclub, he goes to another nightclub and they're going, no, mate, you're not coming in. Why? Because you're an idiot over at that nightclub. I don't know how long it'll be or if it even is in existence at the moment, but there's a guy called Lee who trades on us and he also trades with us as well. And has he got an account with you at the moment? Yes, he has. Right. Okay. Is he going long on the DAX at the moment? Yeah. He's going short with us. Oh, right. It's not going to take rocket science for them both to gang up on you, is it? So I don't know. Conspiracy theorists, off you go. But that could well happen. It's not a consistent strategy, though, is it? You're not a trader. Basically, you're gambling. You're arbitrage gambling. So it's not really, I think, a long-term proposition to play the prop firms off against each other. But might work. We're selling the highs at the minute. Right, so let's get on with this because I haven't done anything yet. Have I? Talking too much this morning. Aussie dollar CAD. Got out this one today. Yesterday rather. So nice little profit. Banked that one a little bit early. We're just extended now on the 4-hour RSI, but that is your weekly extension. So we've just lit up these are the average weekly range extensions. So these are beyond their or at their normal weekly ranges that they put in. So something that's hit its weekly range is probably likely to have a little bit of a pullback before it starts a new leg. So as you can see, we've had a reversal alert on the hourly already this morning. M5, you've had your reversal alert. M15, there's your 5-minute reversal alert. And retest. So that one's extended. Aussie dollar Swiss, again, I got out of this one this morning. We accumulated this morning and we're at a weekly low. We just started to push up, so I got out. My target on this was very, 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 very close. Yeah, so that was target. But we got these weekly levels. So I just basically decided to exit. It's probably going down. Oh, you're kidding. Hearing the sellers coming in from the S&P. S&P will obviously usually go in line with the DAX. You can use Tick Strike on the S&P, the free version on Financial Juice, to give you a clue as to buy and sell orders on the DAX as well, because they do roughly the same thing. So yeah, that's extended on the weekly. So there's your high from Monday. Friday, yeah. Monday. It's been very orderly on the way though, look. So might continue down, we'll see. Aussie New Zealand is extended as well. So these are all pretty much the same thing, like Aussie US. Yeah, they're all extended. They're all B reversion opportunities. I've got longs on this one already. I've got 2 longs on Aussie US. That was on the H1M5 entry there. That's the first entry. Second entry got into this morning. Average is there. I need to adjust my TPs. So I'm just going to move down into this propulsion gap here. So first entry target was just under that reversal alert, basically, because there's no propulsion gap. So I was assuming that we weren't going to put a new high in and we were just going to pull back and drop. That didn't happen. We accumulated for 3 days and dropped. So second entry has just gone in. Average is moved down. So targets moved down so that I make that much money, whatever it is. and assume that we're going to go for this propulsion gap here. If it pushes down further, another entry will go in and targets will move down onto that propulsion gap. Rinse, repeat until it comes and does a propulsion gap fill. Aussie US. Might need a rocket today. Euro odd. Shorts on this one at the moment. Second entry taken yesterday. Again, need a target on this now. Yeah, halfway there, I guess. Bit difficult to target this. There's a lot of targets to the downside on this, obviously, at the moment. But halfway on this propulsion gap, we quite often fill propulsion gaps 50% and bounce out of them. Sometimes then we run away because the buyers have won, and other times we bounce out of them and come back and fill them. So targeting 50% of a large propulsion gap is quite good, especially when you've got a nice previous resistance there, which we haven't tested yet. So this resistance area here hasn't been tested. So if we're going to pull down, we're going to test this area and see if we're going to buy back out of it. So going to target that. There's my average. Short, and that's obviously extended on the weekly. So there's your weekly move. That's the most extended of the week apart from gold. Euro pound, again, that's just got extended. We've had a reverse alert, which is currently retesting on the hourly. So there you go. So we're looking for a pullback on that. Euro pound US dollar. Where are we? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, Monday's there. Yeah, so that's the move. So we've just hit it yesterday, and now we're sitting in accumulation. So bit of an odd one. So that propulsion gap is now filled. This is what I mean by hitting half a propulsion gap. Look, yeah, we quite often, when you've got a big propulsion gap, we retest 50% of it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it went a bit deeper. We found some more buyers. We tried again. We found some more buyers. And then we finally broke it yesterday. This price action is just odd. So this isn't the greatest one. We've got University in Michigan this afternoon. So that might kick this back up again for another leg. We're going to need some US dollar numbers to come out negative and the market just drop it, basically. That's pound US dollar. You've got the US dollar CAD is also extended. Again, that one is an extension to the upside, which we triggered actually on Wednesday. We double topped it yesterday and we double topped it again this morning, and it's starting to pull back. So a little bit of weakness coming in on that US. And US dollar yen. Hugely extended. This is a lovely looking short now. It was a lovely looking short yesterday. It's even better looking now. I'm just not trading anything yet at the moment because I just don't trust it. But if we do break that high, I will be in. So I'm not going to get in on this at the moment. I'm going to wait for more of an extension. I want to see that 152 ideally. If we can get there, I shall be all over it like a rash again. Short. But so that's all nicely extended. RSIs, we've got a couple to look at. DAX is not going anywhere still. I can't remember who it was that was saying about, or whether it was even in the London session or the New York session yesterday, but we were talking about, it might have even been on Wednesday, I can't remember, it all rolls into one. But we were talking about the offset and testing different offsets with the opening range breakout EA and the stock index hedge EA. Yeah. So this is a perfect example of me here using a 3-point offset. Yeah. If I'd have used a 4-point offset today, I wouldn't be in a long now. If I'd have used a 3-point, I'm in a long. If I'd have used a 2-point, I'd be in a long. If I'd have used a 5-point, I wouldn't be in a long. The difference between you getting triggered or not is going to be different every day, and it really doesn't make a lot of difference. What we're looking for this offset to do is to protect us against things like that. double bottom bounces. So as long as that offset is wider than the spread, a double bottom bounce won't trigger an order. In this case, we pushed through by 3 pips. It just so happened that is exactly where I had my offset. But if you go, oh, I'm not using a 3 anymore, I'm going to use a 4 because it wouldn't have worked. This is one day where it hit that. If you use a 4, the next day it hits your 4 and goes back, you'll go, oh, I'm using a 5, 6. So where do you stop? You don't know, do you? So that's a really good example of double tops. And this is why the offset exists. The market, when there's no volume, will hit these levels over and over again until it finds some buyers and sellers. Look at that there as well. We hit almost to the pip multiple times until we find enough volume to get through. There, look. To the pip. But because there's light volume. So this is what this is for. If there's a light volume day, we'll quite often sell from the same area again because that's where the algorithm sold from last time. They will try to repeat themselves. If they can repeat the same algorithm and make money constantly, they will continue to do that. When the algorithm breaks and they get a losing trade, the algorithm will shift to whatever the new play is for whatever the market's doing at that time. So in these types of markets, that's what the offset does. It stops you getting triggered on those. But who could tell it's going to go 3 points above the high? Doesn't matter, does it? But anyway, we're not going anywhere. So hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to find one of these wicks and do that. But you can't trade this today. It's not doing anything, is it? Isn't my Forex funds closed now? Yes, it is, yeah. I was joking about my Forex funds. That's why I went. Because they're gone. Bloke has been exposed as a crook, potentially. We don't know. Started position trading on a demo account in September, up 15%. Good man. 15% in September. We're in November. Oh, you started in September. Okay, you're up 15%. My September was terrible. I did 8.5% loss. Need the pound yen to go down? We'll have a look at that. Sellers still coming in. I'm just going to turn tick strike off because it's not as relevant in the DAX, especially when there's no volume in the market. It's not going to make any difference really today. Right, so pound yen, we'll have a quick look at that one. Looking good for shorts where we are. So we just come off the monthlies. So pulling back into this area here. And potentially all the way down there. But you're going to need some yen strength to get down there. And that's what we're lacking at the moment. But the pound is weak, so it's got half a chance. Certainly got the reversal alert. So that's a nice looking short. There's a head and shoulders there on the 5-minute time frame yesterday as well. Which is triggered short. Right, so RSIs, same as the weeklies. Aussie CAD, that's extended on the, just extended on the 4-hour. We are also just about extended on the hourly. Didn't quite get an entry on this morning. It's not quite, it looks like it's hit the 25 and it kind of just did, tapped into it, but didn't close below the 25. So the EA hasn't triggered a long for me on it, but good trade back up into propulsion for a long potentially. We've got a nice weekly level coming up down there as well. So it's nicely extended to the downside. We're just looking for that. So it's that move. We're looking for that. Yeah. So there's a long there. Drop down M5. You've had your reversal alert this morning and your retest. Except it's not really got any legs, is it? Nothing's really moving at the moment, as you can see by the DAX. There we go. Third knock on the door. We had 2 knocks on the door there. We've had 1, 2, 3 knocks on the door there. What can he do? So Aussie dollar CAD nicely extended on the hourly and the 4. Aussie New Zealand extended on the 4-hour RSI. That's a nice extension now down to 25. I'm out of the shorts. This is a very, very tricky move. This looks even uglier on the hourly. It's just a very ugly price action move. This huge day, which then moved into a really weird bull move, which was ever so slightly bullish, followed by a rally up, and then an accumulation for basically 2 weeks, which was ugly and uneven. And now it's just starting to do the same thing it did there in the opposite way. No idea where this is going at all or why. It's just messy. So it's extended to the downside, was extended on the hourly down there as well, just about. But it's not pretty, is it? So you're bang in the middle of a range as well. Look. So whenever you're trading a range, you trade well, that's the potential range low forming. That's the old range low. So whenever you're trading, if you're going to trade a range, you trade from the highs or the lows. You don't trade from the middle, because the middle's got a 50-50 shot. Everything's got a 50-50 shot, but the middle, it's either going to go up and test the top, or it's going to go down and test the bottom. If you're trading from the top, you've got an obvious target of the bottom, and you've also got backup coming as well. So trading from the middle of the range here, you're just literally taking your life in your hands. But if it's going to go long, this is a 50% pullback. But there's no catalysts for it. There's no reason for either of those to be stronger than the other. So it's just a mess. It is very nicely extended. It's the biggest extension we've got on the 4-hour though. Aussie US extended just about. Again, I much prefer. Gone quiet. I turned tick strike off, didn't I? It's weird. I've got used to tick striking in my head again. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Not going to be easy to make money today, is it? This week's been like pulling teeth. Aussie US, so that is extended. Much prefer to be down below the 20 or above the 80. The 80 RSI is so good. But not extended enough really for me. Euro odd, same thing really. It's just about got extended. This has been very orderly. I've got shorts on this already from the H1M5 entry, but this has been lovely little flag breaks. Yeah. So potentially we might flag again and then react at these highs somewhere. So I've got only one on this at the moment. So that was the first H1M5 mean reversion. The H4 is there. Again, what we were talking about right at the beginning of the stream, the difference between the H4 and the M5. You're extended on the H4. You're also extended on the hourly. So whether you're getting on M5 or M15, the H4 RSI extension will often happen very much at a similar time. So nice looking short. As we are literally just flag breaking on this, there's no profit take move been made. So therefore, that is all a valid profit take. 50% retracement is what I'd be looking for when it goes. But that's a nice looking short. And that was the H1 entry yesterday. Oh, sorry, I got two on this. Sorry, I was going to say that isn't it an entry. That was the entry. First one, just about, look. Well, that was marginal, wasn't it? That must have been exactly on 75. Then we hit it again. We extended a little bit there. You got divergence there as well. So bearish divergence. So we're just waiting for a pullback to start. We've had the hourly reversal alert. So if this retests today and breaks back down below that low, that's your M pattern formation. We should hopefully flush. No news again, though, today for the euro. We got Lagarde speaking, but she said stuff yesterday. Didn't help. And euro US dollar yen, as we know, very nicely extended. That's a 4-hour RSI extension. Again, 4-hour RSI extensions are great. But this is a very odd price action as well. There's a lot of odd price action everywhere at the moment, either none or weird explosive moves, not related to news events. So it's just, the market's always weird. The market is never normal, but at the moment it's more abnormal than normal. So those are your hourlies and your 4 hourlies. Aussie CAD obviously is an hourly as well. For a long. there you go. DAX is trying really hard to annoy me today, and it's probably going to succeed, I suspect. It's just not got any volume. There we go. So we just tried to get lows. Hedged. Nearly. Hedged. So short and long and waiting. So locked in, hedge. So today, just going to wait for the volume to come. I'm not holding out much hope that we'll get out of this today, to be honest, because that thing's just not moved. We're an hour in. We haven't gone anywhere in an hour. So I couldn't tell you where this is going today. Obvious target to the upside is still 2R. The volume we've got here, if we can get to 2R, I think I'll probably take it off. So 2R target to the upside, I think, is probably what I will do. And remain there because there's no volume. It's not as if we're going to suddenly fly up to 5R, is it? I mean, if we do start to make some weird, huge move for any reason, I might readjust. But for me at the moment, I think that's probably it. 2R to the upside. Downside, again, I think I'll probably just go with yesterday's low. I'm not going to, it's just not likely to make any big moves, is it, at the moment? So I'll go for a 2R to the downside as well. And see if I can get an aggressive exit on it. If it gets there, I'm not holding out much hope for it even getting to 2R today. This is so slow. This is the slowest day. We've had some slow days in the last couple of weeks. This takes the biscuit, doesn't it? Just not going anywhere, is it? So yeah, wait on that one, but locked in hedge. Right. That's all I've got for you today. Be back this afternoon and we'll have a look at stuff later. David, in your opinion, if they find my Forex funds guilty of anything and force them to shut down, they already have forced them to shut down. I doubt he'll open again. Could you envision them having to pay back everyone's money? You can't. You can't. It's not there. Yes. So the court, I would suspect the court order will be, you have been found guilty of fraud. Pay everybody back. Yeah. But the trouble is, the guy's taken 300 million of our money, and it ain't there. It's not sitting in a bank account, is it? So you're not going to get it all back. You'll get back a percentage in the dollar. So they might turn around and go, everyone can have back. We've got, he's taken 300 million. He's got 60 million available. Therefore, you can have 20 cents on the dollar. So if you spent 5K with them, they'll give you back a K. But that's all got to go through a class action lawsuit, which will be dragged out over a year or so. So it's just, yes, probably you would get something back if he's found guilty and if there's enough money there to be able to do anything. They've frozen his accounts, so there's definitely money there. But how much of it's left? You know, if you've gone off and spent 10 million on a yacht, that yacht's not worth 10 million now, is it? It was when you bought it. It's not anymore. Probably worth 5 million. So when you're liquidating assets, they always go for less than, you know, so it's just, you're never going to get it all back. And it will take ages as well. Not going to happen overnight. So the other obviously thing is the other prop firms are all going to become after as well. If he's found guilty, all the other prop firms will be shut down, or they will have to change their practices. And if they change their business model to the model that the industry will want, the business model won't work. So therefore it will vanish into oblivion, won't it? Yeah. The whole purpose of it is we just sell demo accounts. Yeah, everybody's stupid, aren't they? Look, let's buy a demo account for $500. You can get it for free, but have it for 500. All right, yeah. Tell you what, if you're good, we'll give you a bit of cash back. That's basically the business model. Right? If they come around now and say, okay, you can sell a valuation thing, right, which basically is a demo account, but if they pass, you have to have segregated funds in a separate trading account with a registered licensed broker to allocate to that person, and that is now what you need to do. They're going to turn around and go, I ain't got enough money for that. Off you go. Cost $250,000 to set up a brokerage, yeah, without segregated funds. Segregated funds have to be whatever leverage you're providing on top. So if I put $1,000 in a brokerage with 100-to-1 leverage, they have to have 100,000 leveraged cash available for covering my positions. Think about that. They're giving you $100,000 funded account. They need millions to cover you. They can't do it. It's not possible. And the fact they've got to pay $250,000 for a brokerage license. And at the moment, I can go and start a white label prop firm up this afternoon for $2,000. If you came to me and said you can start up a prop firm this afternoon, white label for $250,000, I'm going to think very hard about that. $2,000, yeah, whatever. Let's have a go. This is why there's so many of them out there, and they pop up literally daily. There's a new one on my timeline every day I've never heard of on Facebook, because it's too easy. It's all a scam. It's not a scam. It's something you can make money out of if you know how to play the game. But that's not what everybody thinks they're going to make money out of it long term. You're not. No one's holding accounts for more than a month. We can leverage your account. You start with 50K. If you can get 10% above that when you're funded, we'll give you 100. Then we'll give you 200. Then we'll give you 500. Then we'll give you $1 million in 6 months' time. You're not going to be anywhere near there in 6 days. It's not how it works, because your strategy is going to blow the account. It will. You will never get to the targets. They sell the dream. They're selling the dream and selling you a demo account. That's the reality. My Forex funds were the first ones to be kind of exposed for the manipulation aspect. But they're all doing the same thing. FTMO as well. EA have just come out. They sent me an email yesterday, and I thought, well, the day before. EA are now going to start publishing all of the statistics for their traders, which is what my Forex funds also did, which is why we know that less than 0.01% of people that do an evaluation hold an account for more than 6 weeks. They publish that data. EA are about to do the same thing. They're about to tell you how impossible it is to hold an account. So the only way you can do it is by gambling. And you can do it. I've done it many times. I've been paid many times because I gamble. I'm not trading, I'm gambling. I'm going in with a 2% risk on an account, very much like this one. This isn't gambling. This is controlled risk. But I've done 37%, 25% increase on it this month. We're on the, what are we on? 10th. So in 10 days, I've increased this account by 25% using high risk. This would have blown a proper valuation as well, because this has gone into more than 10% of drawdown. Their rules won't allow you to do that. That's what you need to do if you want to produce the results that they say they will give you when you double your account. You've got to be able to do that. But their rules don't allow you to do that because their drawdown restrictions are too tight. All a big smoke and mirrors thing. But 90% of people that are entering trading that haven't got any money are going, I can't do this job because I haven't got $100,000 to put into it. So therefore, I'll go and get it from there. You can't, because to be able to do this job, you're going to take a 10% hit on your account at some point. They know that. That's why they sell you the demo. But what we didn't know was some of them are sitting there behind the screen pulling the strings on the price as well. So they are not only selling you a demo account and selling you a dream that's virtually impossible to achieve, they're also manipulating price to make sure you don't do it. That's the rub. That's where the Fed are getting involved, and that's why I think he's going to be found guilty. But they're all doing the same thing. There's a few of them that aren't. They're using third-party brokers. But at the end of the day, it's still similar, isn't it? So we'll see. We'll see. May or may not blow up the industry, but it's not going to happen overnight. So idea with the SIH info display, and the 16-digit display with current profit and net profit sometimes, you can use the double string X digits function. Yes, I know. It is. It's a glitch. Fun to do week. Have a good day. Thank you. Have a good day. Right. So that's it for today. For this morning anyway. So holding this lot. There's nothing really of any worry there at all, apart from oil, which I'm not getting into again. So when I'm out of that, that's it. I'm done with oil. I'll still look at it, but it's too erratic at the moment. Euro US dollar is in profit. So target on that one I've got down at that propulsion, which is roughly 50% on the leg. So I will hit that today. I might adjust targets on these US dollar pairs. So my exposure on the US dollar is hedged at the minute. So I've got a short on the Euro US dollar and I've got a long on the Aussie US dollar. So Michigan is obviously at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So if we get a nice big spike on that, which we probably will, depending on where price is, I'll probably put a break-even stop on that. And then, in fact, I'm moving my target down now. Target down to ADR. So if we get a spike, we could possibly get an ADR push out of it. So I might as well take the profit down there and break even it. But I'll wait and see where we are. If we're back up here before the news, I won't do that. I'll leave it where it is, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the only news we got today. So I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20 for the New York session. And obviously we'll trade New York and see where Michigan takes us. But it's just flat today. Very, very, very hard trading conditions when the market's moving like this. You can't do anything with it. So XR.news on the market reversal EA. What's in between RSA filter on the high time frames and RSI filter? So RSI filter and RSI higher time frame. No, so basically those filters, all conditions have to be met. It's all explained in the video in the manual. But it's basically the higher time frame RSI filter is the one you select above the time frame you're trading on. So if you're trading H1 M5, yeah, the EA sits on the 5-minute time frame and waits for a reversal alert to trigger short. When that reversal alert triggers, it looks at the filters you have enabled. If you have the RSI filter enabled, it will use the RSI on the time frame you're using. If you have the higher time frame RSI enabled, it will use the higher time frame RSI. That has to be extended. So in this case, to take this short on the reversal alert that happened there, you would have needed the hourly RSI to be above the X level. If you enabled both, you would need the RSI on the hourly to be above that level and the RSI on the 5-minute to be above that level as well. There are filters, which is an and condition, not an or. So if you were in the market reversal alerts EA, if you enabled the ADR filter, the higher time frame RSI filter, the current time frame RSI filter, you would need to be above ADR with the hourly RSI extended and the 5-minute RSI extended. All three of those conditions would have to be in place when the reversal alert happens to trigger a trade. So it would very rarely trade. But the trades would probably be bloody good. But you wouldn't get many of them. It is all covered in the manual and the video, though, the difference between them. Right, I'll leave it there. Oh, we've broken short. We're just coming into the pre-market low. So we'll see where we go. I'll have a crack at that. That's it. If this suddenly starts collapsing at a stupid rate, yeah, if we suddenly get a candle like this, I will move this, yeah. But at the moment, I'm just going to watch it. If this volume just carries on at this rate, which is virtually snail pace, you know, it's going to take a couple of hours to get here, isn't it? And if we've moved down a couple of hours, we're probably going to pull back off of that move. So, but if it starts to suddenly put some big candles in, you're going to be looking at lower levels. So watch that low there, which is this high. This is a decent target. Then we've got the previous days, which is beyond ADR. So there's ADR today. Yeah. You've got a propulsion move there just before that support. So 3.5 R, then 4.5 R is ADR. So that's only if we start moving. Yeah, if we don't start moving, that's it, realistically. And I think we'd be lucky to get there, to be honest. All right, so we'll have a look at this afternoon. Anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, have a good day. I will either see you Monday morning, 7:50, same time, or this afternoon for New York. Have a good one.